Out of ashes can come beauty. Out of shattered remnants of something that used to be intact and then maybe became fragile can come important life lessons and important lessons for us to know about ourselves so that we can break negative habits and hopefully move forward as better people. I was thinking the other day about one of the first times, or maybe the first time, I was fully submerged in water. I learned to swim and row a boat in a muddy lake in north central North Carolina. It was at that time called Mayo Park, right outside of my little hometown. It's now Mayo River State Park. You can Google it. It's a state park in North Carolina. But when it was Mayo Park, I would go to day camp every summer. And I remember the first time I went underwater in that muddy lake. And I mean, it was muddy and silty. And, did the thing where you're pinching your nose and you're holding your breath and you go under. And going under for that first time can be very scary. I know you know what I'm talking about because we've all had that first time. At least I think we all have. And I can remember after I went under, I couldn't see anything. My eyes were closed. And then I came out, I was like, whew. But there was also the, hey, I did it. And then I would start to open my eyes and, I could kind of make out other people's legs. But again, it was muddy. It was silty. And I think about how in some ways that is analogous to how I became in the last several years of one of the most important relationships of my life. I have trauma in my background. It's never going to go away. I've been in therapy on and off for years. I do that as maintenance and I rely on the Lord a lot. But when you go through some losses like I've been through, especially the way I lost my husband Russ and then almost losing him 4 years prior to that, it's coded in you. It's coded. And the one person that helped me kind of get uncoded, if you will, was this second great love of my life. I just loved him, still do, so much. And our relationship pivoted over a decade ago to a long distance relationship. That's on him. That was his decision. I didn't have a say in the matter. But what happened was I became a suspicious person. I became somebody that was not comfortable with other women, even if they were former colleagues. And I'm not talking about all the time, but just here and there, because I was kicking and screaming over his decision, and neither of us were moving forward in the relationship. And I began to feel as if I were underwater and I didn't know how to come up to the surface because I had created habits that were not good. Not good. And I don't even want to say what those habits were. Just things I would do on a regular or semi-regular basis. And one of the hardest things in life is having to own that. You give yourselves grace after you've beaten yourself up a lot, but you have to own it. Because here's the truth. Relationships are two-way streets. And I know in a lot of cases, one person truly is to blame. They're unfaithful. It could be a number of things. But in most cases, it's a two-way street. And we can only be responsible for ourselves. And hopefully, in a spirit of love, two people can come together or come back together and have raw, honest conversations. And so right now, what I'm doing in my own life is I have definitely broken those habits. I want to be the best version of myself that I can be. I want to be the person my late husband fell in love with. I want to be the person that this other great love fell in love with. And I'm not trying to beat myself up. I was not like that constantly. But there was a lot of nitpicking that went on. And, he and I have had discussions. 3 hours distance. One person is very committed. We're both committed to what we do, but him especially, given what he does for a living. And that takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of time by oneself in front of the laptop. And then when you have family scattered around like I do, and trying to be everything to them. And the distance makes it hard to travel, which we took some amazing trips together. But at the end of the day, I have to be responsible and own my contributions. And sometimes we create these patterns and we create these habits that we just can't get out of because it has become a habit, it has become a routine. And so I did a reel on my personal page, and no, I'm not trying to get you to follow me, but I posted a reel earlier today on my personal page that is pretty raw and it's pretty honest about how sometimes things need to break, how sometimes people need to break. And as I move forward on this journey of just reconnecting with me and breaking the habits that helped contribute to the demise of that relationship, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that we broke. I'm grateful that I broke. And there's a lot of pain behind these words I'm saying right now because I still love that person. That person still loves me. We needed to break. You know, the delicate dance in a situation when you're in a relationship, it breaks, a marriage is starting to fall apart. The delicate dance is you have to make an assumption that you may never be back together. And that's hard. That's really hard when you love someone. And so you just give it to God. You continue to show love. You continue to keep the communication lines open. But the most important thing is working on yourself. It's owning your own contributions, your own failings, your own faults, and then hopefully reconnecting with the core of who you are and a better version of who you are. So if you're going through some issues today, whether it's a marriage, a romantic relationship, a platonic relationship, a family relationship, don't be so quick to point the finger at the other person. Think about what you have contributed to it. How did you contribute to this situation? We have to own it. We have to own it, my friends. We have to come up out of the water, get out of the muddy water, and breathe again, and hopefully have a better day and a better life. If that resonates with you, take it to heart. I hope you have a great one. I can't get out of this thing because I don't have my glasses on.